back to another installment of Investing in the Future. I'm Forsyth County Manager Kevin Tanner, and I'm glad you're with us today here at East Forsyth High School for another roundtable discussion. The county is growing. It's hard to argue with the census data that shows people are moving their families and their businesses to our community. With that growth, the county is planning for the future in many ways. We talked in an earlier episode about how we plan to address infrastructure needs on our roads and how public safety is investing in their future as well. Another area we are investing in for our future is the physical home of Forsyth County government and a new county administration campus. Next spring, Forsyth County will break ground on a new county administration campus on county-owned property located on Freedom Parkway. If all goes as planned, it will be completed in 2025. The current county administration building is in downtown Cumming, was constructed in 1996 when the population was 68,000 people, a fraction of what it is today. Our population now exceeds 260,000 people and is projected to double in the next 30 years. The new campus is being constructed with future growth in mind to meet the needs of today and tomorrow. Joining us for this discussion is Chief Financial Officer Marc Turk and Assistant County Manager Brandon Kenney. Thank you both for being with us today. Marc, let's kick it off. The big question, where's the money coming from to be able to build this campus?
Well, there are actually 3 buildings that are coming for the campus, and each of those buildings is funded separately. The first I'll start with is the new administration campus that will house our offices. And the Board of Commissioners, in its foresight in 2019, started allocating funding from excess budget surplus to the capital outlay fund. And as of today, there's $55 million available for the new administration complex. There's no debt required to construct the building. The whole health facility is the second building that will be on the campus, and it is going to be funded through the American Rescue Plan Act funding. It's a government grant that was provided to the county, and it will also not require any debt to be constructed. The third building is an employee center, and that employee center is coming because we have had employees be very good stewards of their health. And so the Employee Health Benefits Fund has run a surplus over the last several years, and it is that surplus that will go to build the employee center.
So the employees, because we're self-insured in our insurance plan, so the employees pay a monthly premium for their insurance. Yes. County pays a portion of that. And because the employees have been good stewards of those dollars, we've had savings. And then the county is choosing to reinvest those dollars into the employees.
That is absolutely correct.
And the other thing I think is very important that you hit on is the county administration campus. The county knew they needed to build a new home for county administration because obviously we'd been in the building since 1996, population of 68,000, population today 260. We know that the sheriff needed a new home. So the county started preparing by saving money.
Yes. And
all of the dollars that we believe is going to be necessary to build this campus are already in the bank.
Already allocated $55 million.
And one of the things too I think is important is we're currently leasing some space for a lot of our operation. Is that correct?
That is. There are several employees that are housed across the county, but concentrated in one major office park not too far from the administrative building we have now.
And we're renting that space, which is at a cost of close to $500,000 a year. Is that right?
That's correct.
And the plan would be that would go away.
That's right.
That's great. One of the other things, Brandon, and thank you for being with us today. Brandon does a great job as one of our assistant county managers. But Brandon, one of the things that we're focused on at Forsyth County is the customer experience. We want to have good customer service, and that sometimes can be challenging when we're spread out. So tell us a little bit about how this new campus will go to that experience.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, I think that's a great point. And I think one of the things that we've seen is that by having all of our departments spread out, we're asking our citizens when they need to do business with the county to have to get in their cars, drive to multiple buildings in order to get something done. One of the things that we're doing with this new campus is really laying it out with our citizens in mind. How can they quickly come in, transact their business with the county in the most easily and direct way possible. And so we're going to be consolidating 14 of our departments now up underneath one roof. And really, on that first floor, we're talking about how do we make it to where that citizen doesn't have to go through our entire building, but can really go to one location, get everything that they need, and find the information that they need very easily.
And Brandon, I know you come from the private sector originally, served as a CIO for a very large company in the IT world, a lot of experience in that area. So we offer a lot of electronic technology options for our citizens that don't have to necessarily come into the office. But for those who choose to, we're going to have a very customer-focused environment.
Yes, that's right, Kevin. I think one of the main things that we want to do is to make it easy to transact with the county, whether you come on site, whether you want to do it from the comfort of your own home. But if you do come in, we want to make sure that you have a seamless experience. And I think that's what the technology is going to allow us to do. Once again, by having our departments up underneath one roof, I think it's going to make the technology a little more seamless for our citizens to be able to transact.
Well, this one-stop shop opportunity for our citizens is exciting, and I know our employees are excited about this opportunity to grow, to be able to move into a nice facility and all be under one roof, to be able to work together. What's the timeline?
So we hope to break ground in May of 2023, and we're looking at a 2-year build out, so that would put us in 2025.
That's great. I know it can't come soon enough for the citizens who have to travel to multiple offices today, and to our employees who also have to do the same. One of the questions I get asked a lot is about why we chose that location. One of the things I think is important for people to understand is we have a 42-acre tract there on Freedom Parkway. Freedom Parkway is located between two major roads, Pilgrim Mill and 306. The building and the campus will be visible from Georgia 400, and we'll have signage where people can easily get to the facility, and they'll be able to get that to our building either from one of those two exits. So I think it's going to be conveniently located for the citizens, easy accessible, and great visibility. Brandon, in your eyes, what does this new campus mean for retaining top employees, and more importantly, why should that be a focus for Forsyth County government?
Well, I think all businesses, whether it's public or private today, are struggling with how do you retain and attract talented employees. Forsyth County is no different. We want to retain and attract the most talented people, regardless of private or public sector. What this new facility allows us to do is offer options. We can offer options related to workout facilities, where you can have our health center, which will be located on site, so our employees no longer will have to get in a car and to go make their appointments. So we're really creating not just a one-stop shop for our citizens, but we're also trying to create a one-stop shop for our employees as well. And why that's important, we have to differentiate in this market. It's a very competitive labor market. We have to be able to differentiate from both the private sector as well as the public sector. I think this new facility will go a very long way in helping us do that.
One of the things a lot of our citizens may not realize, but where we touch citizens and have that citizen touch points, we survey. We do customer surveys of how our citizens felt about their experience with our government. And Brandon, you have led that effort, and I think you can report that we're seeing great results from that.
We are, Kevin. I mean, we're on a scale of 10, we're averaging right around a 9 in our customer service delivery. So I think we've got a great story to tell, but that comes with retaining talented individuals that are happy about their job and want to do their jobs. And that's how we translate into a better experience for our citizens. And that's why I think this new admin campus is going to help us go a long way in us attaining that.
And I think, Mark, one of the things that we talk a lot about internally is our focus is always on that citizen, that experience that they have, providing them the highest quality of service. And that means having the highest quality of employees. And you talked a little bit about, and I just want to circle back up with this, This wellness center that we're talking about, because we're self-insured, the healthier our employees become, the lower our insurance cost will be. Is that right?
Yes, it is one of those things that's mutually beneficial. So the employees benefit from having a great employee center and experience that they can enjoy that covers physical, mental, and financial well-being, as well as the county benefiting from lower claims as a result of healthier employees.
Goes right to the bottom line.
Right to the bottom line.
I want to thank both of you so much for being here. Thank you for what you all do personally for Forsyth County and what your employees are doing every day for the citizens of Forsyth County. We appreciate it. We're going to take a short break and continue the conversation when Sheriff Ron Freeman joins us to talk about what this move for the county means for the Sheriff's Office and public safety. We will be right back. Welcome back. Joining us now is Sheriff Ron Freeman as we talk about the new homes for county offices and departments, including a new future home for the Sheriff's Office in downtown Cumming. Sheriff, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, again, my pleasure, and thanks for having the opportunity to have the discussion.
Well, Sheriff, we know that the county is looking to build a new administration facility, and why don't you tell us a little bit about how the Sheriff's Office factors into all these moves?
So, several years back, we operate off two precincts that were built in 2005, 2006. We have a north precinct at Central Park, and we have a south precinct behind South Forsyth High School. And then we have the jail, and most people think the jail is the sheriff's headquarters, but it's almost exclusively a jail. There's just a very little bit of administrative offices, like 4 or 5 administrative offices within the jail. And so currently we occupy the old county courthouse, the 2nd and 3rd floors, which is centrally located on the square, built in the 1970s. We occupy about 12,000 square foot. And again, we're the 3rd largest full-service sheriff's office in the state of Georgia. So as you can imagine, we're really stretched for space. And so as the county looks forward to moving towards a new county administration building, I know the discussions we had of money that had been set aside to build an east precinct or a west precinct or a sheriff's headquarters, we talked about the opportunity because it's adjacent to the courthouse and it's adjacent to the jail, right where we need to be, of the old county administration campus becoming the Sheriff's Office headquarters. And when we looked at that and the discussions between the Board of Commissioners, yourself and me, we looked at it as, man, what a great opportunity to offset those costs and keep us centrally located where I need to be, beside the courthouse, beside the jail, and those things that are day-to-day interactions.
That's great, and you hit on something too. I think it's important because originally the county had planned to spend additional money to build an administration building for the Sheriff's Office. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had talked about a west precinct adjacent with a fire station. Geographically and just because of the particular location, it wouldn't work for a joint campus. And then we had talked about an administration building at some point in the future. But again, with the county administration being, as we are at the Sheriff's Office, being stretched for space, it is kind of a win-win because we move into the county administration building, which is about 50,000 square foot. It becomes a 20, 30-year building. Long after my time as sheriff, that building still meets the needs of the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. And so I see it as a win-win for everybody.
And I know from conversations you and I've had, you taking a look at the building's going to require very little remodeling for your use. Is that right?
Yeah, just some security enhancements, some cameras, and a few secure doors and things like that. The recent renovations that building has went through would serve us very well. You know, the vast amount of square footage there allows us to just be able to kind of melt into that building as it exists.
Now, Sheriff, I know you talked about you'd be moving out of the courthouse annex and moving into the administration building. What's going to happen with the space at the courthouse?
So currently, if people don't know, the old courthouse, I occupy the 2nd and 3rd floors, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office does. The basement floor is our probate court. It has a courtroom, it has other offices, public records, those kind of things in it. So the intent is for the magistrate court to move into, and the probate magistrate court to operate out of that courthouse as it was intended to be a courthouse. I mean, we literally have still judges' benches and jury boxes and stuff in rooms that we don't utilize because we didn't want to tear that stuff out. And so the opportunity exists for one, to get the courts in one place. It makes it, now every court except juvenile will be right on the square that everybody can get to. Second thing is, Those are two buildings that by my constitutional duties, I have to provide protection for the courts. So now I'm providing protection for the magistrate court up off Tribble Gap Road, and for the probate court, which is the bottom of the building that we occupy, and the courthouse across the street. You combine those two, that's one less building that I have to secure, which means less deputies that I have to secure, and gives those deputies the ability to serve directly to the citizens of Forsyth County.
That's great, because a lot of folks may not realize, but if you have a court in a building, that building becomes a secure facility with a metal detector, screening, et cetera. When magistrate moves out of the building the tax commissioner's office is in, that no longer becomes a courthouse area.
That is exactly right, and that full-time security will cease to exist there because the need would not be there for it.
That's good. Well, Sheriff, again, thank you for all you do and for being with us today and helping explain how some of these moves are going to take place over the next few years.
No, we're excited to look forward to it. It's all about how do we best serve the people of Forsyth County? How do we provide a one-stop shop for somebody who needs something from the sheriff's office? And I know that's a discussion you and I have had. If somebody needs something from the county, they walk into one place and we don't send them to 12 different places. That drives me crazy when I have to send somebody across the street to the jail or to this building or that building. You walk in, we will take care of whatever it is you need when you walk in the door.
Yeah, you hit on it. Plan is to put like services together to make it more convenient for our citizens, take advantage of existing space that we have to save dollars for our taxpayers. Sheriff, again, thank you for being with us. That's all for this installment of Investing in the Future. Thanks for joining us.